Hey, what's up, Dean? Super Performance. We are back. Been a long weekend, but we are back. 100%. Birdcage gone. Turntable gone. That piece of crap's here. Um, Making progress. So basically, what I had to do was a couple of aerial projects. I did that big turntable, knocked that out. That left here yesterday. This guy, I don't know. This car was bought as like a project car. I think I did a video on it, tuning it. But the balancer has, a normal. Of course, I shut the hood. Has the normal timing slot in the balancer, and the car has no timing pointer. So you can't verify the timing. I've never been able to verify the timing. I mean, it was only here one other time, but um, on the balancer, there's a mark. Yeah, you can't see it. It's under the motor, I think, right now. Maybe it's over the motor. I don't remember. But there's a groove that should line up with a timing pointer, but they never put a timing pointer on this. This has more. Look, that hole right there in the timing cover looks more like that would be like a Hall effect sensor if you're using the crank trigger, which, I mean, this motor came from Blueprint Engines. They built the entire motor, so it seems to me like that would be a really stupid thing to put and not have the magnetic wheel. But this is what they did. So we kind of have to do a workaround. And what I did, instead of buying a timing tab and all that, I take a piece of TIG wire, and right there you can see that little Allen head bolt. Right, I'm trying not to like totally cover it. There, that little Allen head bolt with the wire coming off and over. I made that wire to just point anywhere, and then the way I do it is I use a piston stop tool. Zoom out, thing. Piston stop tool that goes in the cylinder. Take the plug out, goes in the cylinder, and you got to be so careful every time, man. I just touch these things and they bend. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not ramming the piston into them, but you go one way, mark it. You go the other way, you mark it. You measure the distance, mark the center. So the distance that I came up with was like 50 millimeters. I marked 25 millimeters, and that is, you could barely see it right there, that blue mark. That's now my new 0 degree top dead center. Then you go into the Holly. You do set static timing. Shut off all your. For me, I shut off all my modifiers. So like my idle spark, all that stuff. I shut those off, and I set my static timing. So like on this motor, 25 degrees was kind of a good number. Where 15, it just rop. It kept surging, which was the original issue. Um, I also, just for shits and giggles, on this has number one. I verified this is a number one spark plug wire, and then I marked the cap, like pretty much in line where that is. I marked the cap and the body on the distributor. Pop that off, get my top dead center. I make sure my rotor's pointing where it should be. And then snug it down a little bit. Like, I crank this over to point the rotor right at number one, and I snug it down. And then I start the car and I run the car and I take a timing light and stab it at it. And this one was almost 36 degrees. So had I left it 36 degrees, when I command, so that would be 11 degrees over. When I command 36, it's actually going to give it like 47, 48, somewhere in that neighborhood, because of that big offset swing, which is what I'm always afraid of, is somebody has such an offset on the high side that if you give it a standard amount of timing, that the car likes, like Blueprint tells you 38 degrees or 36 degrees at 3,800 RPM, something like that. So I build my timing table based off of that at 3,600 RPM, right around like 100 kPa ish, a little bit below. I kind of do a 36 degree and run it out, and then I taper it down on the higher RPM, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, so being that it was 11 degrees off, I had to turn the distributor counterclockwise probably a good inch, and then tighten it back down. So they never phased the distributor. They just set it in the car. So the startup is okay. I'm learning that I do not like Ford's pulse width modulation IAC control. I don't know it all that well, but I don't think it's me. I think it's that motor is a piece of crap. The car starts, idles, runs, sounds way better. There was a lot of things I did to this, like move the whatever. So hopefully in the morning, I'm going to come in, I'm going to start it. Fingers crossed the thing doesn't surge up and down, up and down, up and down. Like it was bad, like 1,800 to 400 RPM. It would just rop, and stall out and have to restart and stall out and restart and stall out. And then once it got around 150, 160 degrees, it would maintain an idle somewhat, but it still would mess with the IAC like crazy. The timing would be going all over the place. So that explained a lot of it. So I fixed that. We're good. Morning, send it. Jesse's car, I got all the boost reference lines ran. Teed up there, teed here, ran, tucked it underneath of here to keep far away from the exhaust as I can. Heat sleeve on the one that's going to come across the wastegate. Mind you, this will only get hot for a couple of seconds because this doesn't have exhaust till the wastegate opens. Should be good. All those lines. Then I ran, I think it's like a 10 gauge or something, all the way back, up, over, under here, to the transmission fan. This is up inside, so I have to just terminal it and put it to ground. That'll be my ground. This red wire runs all the way up and into the fuse box. Then I also, yesterday, I pulled the pan, verified the plug, because I got the plug on. And those wires that I left dangling, pretty sure this is a TCI valve body. So I went through their schematic, and basically you ground all the solenoids and you feed 12 volt to the so they want you to do it, you ground the two rear solenoids and you feed 12 volt to all three solenoids. Then you use son of a monkey. You ground all three solenoids, then you feed power to the rear two solenoids, and you trigger the front solenoid with your trans brake button, 12 volt, to engage your trans brake and reverse. The way I did it, I powered all three solenoids together. This triggers ground now. And then the two rear solenoids, I ran the ground right to the case, and I verified it's a good ground. So they're tied together at the terminal. They come out of here, blah, blah, blah. Then I ran a speed sensor. You can see it, the purple and green, into the harness to a Deutsch connector. So I got, which I don't have green, but I did tan and purple for my speed sensor, and I spun them, spiraled them, whatever you want to call it. And then I did pink and brown. Brown is my ground trigger for the trans brake. Pink is my solenoid power to all three. And then I ran both of them up there, and I'm going to set the car down. I think I pulled both locks. Hopefully I pulled both locks. Seems like I pulled both locks. So, hey. All right. So the transmission fan runs to fan number 3, and I stabbed a new relay in there. So that's tied into this. Then here's my pink and my brown, which the brown's going inside the car to activate off the button as a ground. The pink comes over and ties into right here, which is ETC. So I'm calling it electronic transmission control. So that'll work for me. Then I got to pull the output wire back in, tie that to this brown one here. That input wire is going to the trans sensor for temp, which I'm going to probably do before I leave here today, because it's a simple little wire to just drag down there and tie in. Maybe it's not simple when you only got one hand, so but whatever. Then I gotta wire the Lingenfelter box, start working on the expansion pack, getting power, ground, and start feeding the inputs. Like the speed sensor is going to get fed into that, and that's these two wires here that go back in. So I'm going to feed the speed sensor into it. So one will be a 5-volt output and one will be the input, and I have to see how to program that. All good. I got to do the blow off valve line, and this thing's like really close. Catch can, I'm working on putting it over here. I'm going to build a nice little square or round. I have a bunch of, well, it's somewhere back there. I have some 4-inch round, so I might use a piece of 4-inch round, stick a can in there. Might have to move the grounds that are on the frame, make a little mount or some tabs, weld a flat piece to the back of it or something, mount it right to the frame. I got to get a filter for it. I don't think his filter will work. I mean, his filter will work. It's dirty. I'll clean it up. But it has a big enough top, so I can reuse his filter. Then, secondly, I might find a spot for what he had as a reservoir. I believe that was it. No, this is it. This reservoir here, I'm gonna find a home for it, and that might be like right here, so it's a little easier to get to. It was a little bit hard to get to in here, like you couldn't take it out unless you pulled a bunch of stuff out of the way. So I might set it in here, and that way we might be able to drop it down or pop it up or whatever. It's already got a little tab going, so that might be a good spot for it. Figure that out, but this thing is close. I haven't started it, but it runs. Sounds good. It's in the last video. Check it out. What else? Shoo. Did the oil change on the wife's car. Then, this is a good one. This will be either a really long series or a goodbye. This is what you don't do. You don't sell somebody an 8.1 that was made for a couple of years, and I personally don't believe this is what could be considered a reliable motor. You don't sell it to somebody, in this condition. It's obviously piss and oil out of the front. The thing is absolutely caked. Like, this is thick. Like, if I take my finger, that's like a 1/2 inch thick of grime on the front of this motor. This truck had a 4.8. Here's the transmission control module. Here's the factory ECU left in the truck, but here's all the wires cut. Here's all the ECU wires, all your engine harness cut, completely destroyed. There's a whole bunch left that who the fuck knows what he did with them. There's the new engine controller. Here's the Allison controller. It's just thrown out front. Dude just absolutely butchered everything in this truck. His tack module sitting there, and then he screws a freaking relay to the tack module and cracked the lid on it too, I believe. Yep, cracked the lid. But the plug for the tack module, that's broke. That doesn't stay in. Throttle body, you can see right there. That's where the plug would be. So I was kind of like, where the hell is the plug? And accidentally pulled and found the plug that the guy snapped off and was like, I have no idea why it doesn't work, because your truck's a piece of crap. No, in reality, you're a piece of crap. But anyways, dipstick, not sure. That should go down farther, I believe, unless it's a wrong dipstick. Cool. Just butchered, absolutely butchered a perfectly good truck. The gas pedal is, all the old wiring is left in the truck. Then he does this shit, which I gotta get all the way under here to show you this shit. So here's a cross member he put in that holds that damn Allison, which is a monster of a transmission. You could see a booger right there. And then a dog shit weld right there. That's it. Bunch of shit back there. Like, horrifying welds. Horrifying welds. Then this. Here's the exhaust. It's fucking flex pipe. Look at the weld. Like, you can't even imagine, like, how thick that actually is. Like, who in the... I don't even know. Then here's the cross member for the center support. What the fucking fuck? Like, are you insane? I actually thought this was a bolt in the picture. It's not. That is a giant turd of shit weld. I'm looking through the camera and it does not even show how actually bad. I don't know how fucking bad that is. Then you look at the center support. Oh, I just seen something even newer and nicer. Look at the center support. It's fucking wrong. Look at it. Would you just look at it? It's like pre-blown apart because of the angle this fucking guy put this thing at. Look at the angle it's at. It's wrong. The center support should be straight. But now I just found this. He cut the fucking drive shaft and then welded it together with more dog shit weld. Like, bro, what the actual fuck? What the fucking... Look at this. There's why you do not trust anybody to do the work. Oh my god. So, connection, you can see the clamps are absolutely buried, and they're just not even tight on that line. Oh, come on, focus, you pile of crap. Like, they're buried and they're not tight, dude. Hose clamp, hose clamp, hose clamp, hose clamp, hose clamp. What the hell, Leroy? I don't even fucking know what that line is, to be honest with you. Oh my god. Look at all the... Oh, I shouldn't have come under here. This is your guys' fault. Look at the fucking zip ties. There's his transmission shifter cable mount. Just a pile of zip ties. Oh, this is so bad. What did I do? This is Jeff's fault. All Jeff's fault. Oh, look at this fucking thing puking oil. What the hell? Oh, I gotta stop. This is scary. Oh, man. Allison. Yeah. It's a damn shame. Oh, another. Look at it. Dude, 2.5 to 2 1/4 to 2, back to 2.5. I mean, fuck me, man. I'm done. I'm done. Leroy Brown, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it. Like, dude, look. There's the original mount bolts. The mount's right there. Oh, you could have modified that mount. I don't know where he got these mounts from. Maybe the other truck or something, but you could have modified this cross member to work underneath that transmission. You stupid. Oh. I about killed the guy yesterday. He came to show me the truck. Not the owner. The owner's a super nice guy. But the guy that did this work, he came for me to look at this truck. And I about killed him. And he ended up pulling the truck off his trailer and leaving. Like, abandoning the truck here. So I had to call the owner, and he came immediately. And what the fuck? More. Just, dude, it's everywhere. This is so bad. But he came immediately and was super apologetic. Super nice guy, but like, this is the oil cooler or trans. I'm not sure which. Here's the trans or the oil, whichever is the opposite one. I believe this is the transmission one, but it's like all twisted up. He's like, oh, it runs and drives. No, it fucking doesn't. That's how you start it. You stab a wire in there and up to positive. So yeah, I don't know. So this is gonna be a project that should be done. That should be done any day now. Like, I just need people to leave me alone so I can focus on this. Here I am making a video, like, ragging on people, but I just need these type of people to leave me alone. This, I will never take cars on like this again. Just based off the owner and the personality of the owner and the severe lack of knowledge with the owner. This is not something I want near me. But I did it. I'm eating it, and I'm gonna make it right. So anyways, how you doing? I will keep updates on Jesse's car. It's over here. Jeez. It's getting close. It's getting really, really close. It runs. We got to top off the fluid, the transmission fluid. He's not sure about keeping the pan because the pan sits low. Let's look at it. Oh, there's plenty of room. There's like 4 inches below that pan, Jesse. Shay. It looks really low in the video, but it's actually not as low. It's low, but it's not horrifyingly low. So I'll let him look at it and decide, and then we'll go from there. But so for me, I'm a fan of the deep pans. More fluid, the better. But that's it for this one. 23, 24 minutes. Long-winded. Bleh. So I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Spitting all over. And leave me a comment. Have a good day. Thank you.